Hello friends, the Champions League is back, and one of the fixtures that we have to look forward to is AC Milan taking on Tottenham Hotspur. But how exactly will the game play out? Well, join me as we head to the tactics board today to discuss how the match will unfold. If you enjoyed the video, please leave it with a like, and subscribe if you haven't for more content like this coming very soon. Make sure you hit that notification bell as well, you don't want to miss what's coming up in the near future. But now, let's talk and preview AC Milan against Tottenham Hotspur in the Champions League. Here we have both sides. Tottenham are on the left-hand side and AC Milan are on the right. This is going to be a cracker of a game. We have both sides here. We're going to start with AC Milan. We have AC Milan set up in a 4-2-3-1 formation. They've been floating around with different things, but I think they'll go back to this because it allows them to have a little bit more control. And that's exactly where this game is going to go. This game actually plays into both sides' hands. Tottenham don't like to have the ball too much and they prefer to counter-attack, whereas AC Milan like to have a lot of the ball and they like to really dominate possession. We'll start off with the AC Milan team. We have Kalulu and Tomori as these main centre-backs. Tomori has a question mark over him in terms of fitness, but from what I've been hearing, it looks like he's going to be able to start. Theo Hernandez and Calabria are going to be the two fullbacks. They're going to be help supporting the wingers whenever they need to, but not giving them too much help. They need to allow the wingers to have enough space to be able to drive, because both of them are very, very good at that. They're going to be utilising the overlapping runs to make their own channel runs, and then you're going to see the real attacking threat of AC Milan. Tonali and Bennacer are the two holding central defensive midfielders. Tonali really likes to spray the ball about. He really likes to play these intricate little passes, switching around play. He's very good with the ball at his feet. He's very understanding of the way the game plays out, and tactically he's also very good as well. The only problem with Tonali is he's not exactly the fastest, but he doesn't need to be with the passing that he has. Bennacer is very good at supporting runs for the likes of Diaz and Giroud. He really likes to get forward quite a bit and then drop back into this pocket of space to make sure that he's defensively solid for his team. Salamakers and Rafael Leao are obviously the two wingers next to Diaz in the middle of the pitch. He likes to float around in the central attacking midfield position and really start to pick up pockets of space to allow and hurt Spurs to be able to open up separate areas for the likes of Rafael Leao and Salamakers to drive into. Then, of course, up front we have a very familiar face in Olivier Giroud. He's just everywhere nowadays, isn't he? He's just getting better with age, like fine wine. Right, so how are AC Milan going to be going forwards? Well, what you're going to be seeing is them dominating possession and then mainly going through these channels, through Salamakers and Rafael Leao. Yes, they can go through the middle, but I think they're aware that Spurs are going to really pack through that area. So it's all going to be about the duels that Rafael Leao is going to have on Emerson Royal and Salamakers is going to have on Ivan Perisic. The overlapping runs are going to be crucial here from the likes of Theo Hernandez and Calabria, just to be able to drag the players of Perisic and Royal just that little bit deeper. This will then allow Leao, if you follow my yellow line, to cut inside, and the same for Salamakers to just cut inside and then open up channels for either a shot or a little intricate little pass into Giroud. Now, moving them forwards, I can show you what that looks like. Salamakers will go here, and then when they go forwards, AC Milan, they are quite slow and methodical about the way they play up. They're not very fast, they're not very dynamic, they're not very electric. They like to take their time when they're building up play, and then all of a sudden just snap into gear. And that's through the likes of Rafael Leao, who really has a burst of pace. I can see him taking Romero on one-on-one, and if they're not careful, Tottenham, Romero will have an absolute nightmare with Rafael Leao. We all know how good he is. We all know how quick he is, and he's just so dangerous for a player who likes to go into a tackle like Romero does. You can see Leao going over on the left. You can see him going through the middle. You can also make sure and see that Olivier Giroud is going to get runs in on the back post. Remember that Leao is good with both feet, and he can also play across into the box. They're going to be looking for Giroud more often than not, and that's going to be through Salamakers as well, playing those crosses in to Olivier Giroud, making sure that he's able to really get on the end of it. That's another duel that Tottenham fans need to be very concerned about, is Giroud on Eric Dyer. Davies won't probably be there, and Romero will be dealing with Rafael Leao. So Giroud will stick to either Davies or Eric Dyer. Both of these duels are not good for Spurs. They need to make sure that they have enough people on him to make it difficult and make his life difficult when he's trying to go up for those crosses, because AC Milan will put in those crosses. Theo Hernandez is very good with crossing the ball from wide areas, and so is Calabria. They're going to try and overload those spaces, help the wingers cut inside, and just drag players through. It's going to become very, very dangerous for Tottenham if they start sitting back far too much. Olivier Giroud is very, very good in the box. Everyone knows how good he is. Then you've got the likes of Brahim Diaz, who I haven't really spoken about. He's going to be sitting on the edge of the area and just drifting out into different pockets of space to help out his team, help rotate the ball round the likes of Davies, round the likes of Perisic, and it's just going to make Tottenham's life a little bit more difficult. They're going to flood that midfield with the likes of the two wingers and then getting those overlaps, and it's just going to become a little bit difficult for Tottenham to defend it. Now, if they keep their cool, if they keep their composure, they've just played Man City. They've recently played Man City only a week, just over a week ago, so it's not too much to ask. But they just need to be very switched on. They need to watch for the blindside runs that Salamakas is going to make and that Leao's going to make past Romero and past Davies. Diaz will see these runs and play those passes. There's a lot to go into this AC Milan attack. What they can't do is allow them to really dictate possession to the point where it becomes lethal. And you'll know when it becomes lethal because Diaz will be able to shuffle across as he so pleases. You need to make sure that you keep an eye on that and stop the likes of, and double up on the likes of Salamakas and Leao. Right, from a Tottenham perspective, how does this go? Right, well, if I move everyone back here, Tottenham, I think we pretty much know how they set up. We know how their team is going to play. We know how Antonio Conte likes to play his football, which is why I think this is such a dangerous game for Tottenham, actually. When we look at it, we've got Tottenham set up in this 3-4-3 scenario. We know we have Ivan Perisic and Emerson Royal as the two main wing-backs. We have Romero, Dyer and Davies. The only major worry and major concern is Lloris in goal, who obviously is not there. He's not going to be fit, which I assume means Fraser Forster comes into the side. And then going forwards, we have Bentancur and Højbjerg, who did absolutely sensational against Manchester City. They were both standout performers for me. They were absolutely brilliant. Can they have the same performance against AC Milan? Well, it remains to be seen, but time will tell, and it just points to a good thing. The game against Fulham was a real turning point for Spurs, and I think that they've taken that into the game against Man City, and if they can do that against AC Milan, I do think that Spurs could get the upper hand. One thing and one point of attack that we need to look at for Spurs is that counter-attack. Now, they're going to allow AC Milan to come onto them because that's just how they like. They don't want a loss of the ball, and they don't really want to dominate possession, so they're going to be utilising the likes of Son, Kane and Kulusevski. And if you have seen my preview for the Manchester City Tottenham game, you'll know that I expected Kulusevski and Son to just cheat on this halfway line, and cheat by the point of I don't expect them to come back and defend, and that means that they're going to be always on the line of offside, making it sure that Harry Kane can drop a little bit deeper and play those balls into the channel. This is what they'll be looking for. They get turnovers when AC Milan have committed players forward, they've committed their overloads, they've committed their overlaps, and then they can get that transition. Once they get that transition, they can look for Kane. Once they look for Kane, Kulusevski and Son will both be on their bikes to get into these channels. It's these channels that are extremely crucial. And then they can bypass AC Milan's midfield and really go towards their centre-backs. Now, you might have remembered me mentioning that Tonali isn't exactly the fastest of players, and neither is Benacer. They're also not really defensively orientated, which means that if Kulusevski can drive at the likes of Tonali and Son can drive at the likes of Benacer, I do think they'll get a lot of joy. I think they'll get a lot of joy being extremely direct with AC Milan, who haven't exactly been brilliant defensively of late. Kalulu, yes, is a good player, and so is Tomori, but I think if you really pressurise them and get those counter-attacks going, I think Tottenham could have a lot of joy. Right, how or what players do I think are really going to stand out? For me, I think that Kulusevski is going to be the main man for Tottenham. He's driving runs, and his ability to really go through players is extremely useful, especially with a side that's going to be dominating a lot of possession, or against a side that's going to be dominating a lot of possession. When we see Kulusevski really driving forwards, he's extremely dangerous. Harry Kane will get into the box, and so will Heung-min Son, and it's this directness that I think will really help them. AC Milan will eventually commit players forward. forward because they like the ball and they like to move their entire team up the pitch. This will allow a lot of space for Tottenham in behind, and I think Kulusevski will be the main man behind that. As for AC Milan, who is their main man? Well, it has to be Rafa Leao. With the way that Rafa Leao likes to go forwards, with the way he likes to drive and dribble with the ball, I think he's definitely AC Milan's most dangerous player. They need to double up on him. They need to make sure that he can't have a run at a player, because if he starts to get going, he's very, very difficult to stop. Højbjerg should be able to come over and help him stop that, and Romero needs to not dive into a challenge. I cannot stress how much Romero should not try to tackle Leao. Just shuffle him out, make sure he goes to the byline, make sure he doesn't get in across, and you're fine. But we all know that's not the case, so it's going to be very entertaining to see how Romero likes to play these. But Leao is definitely AC Milan's best player, and he's definitely the most dangerous player. Him and Diaz like to link up, but I wouldn't fret, and I wouldn't really rule out Salamakers. Salamakers is very good with the ball at his feet, and he likes to drift in between the wingers, and he likes to drift in between the fullbacks and the centre-backs, and he likes to make these runs. He's very good at crossing, he's very good at close control with the ball at his feet, so watch out for Salamakers as well. It's going to be a very, very dangerous game for Tottenham, and one that I don't think they should underestimate, especially if they look at AC Milan's recent performances. They haven't been getting the best results, but that doesn't mean they're not a good team. Especially in the Champions League, anything can happen. Any kind of team can really up their game for the big moments, so I would be very, very cautious. That being said, I think Tottenham have every chance of winning this game. In fact, I've gone for a prediction for a Tottenham win. I've gone for 2-1 Tottenham. I think it's going to be their day. I think that good free-flowing nature is going to be in them, and I think that utilising the pace of Kulusevski, utilising the pace of Son, and the quality of Harry Kane on the ball, but also his driving runs off the ball to try and get into the box, are going to be just too much for AC Milan to handle. 2-1 for Tottenham for me, but still, it's going to be a cracking game. And that's it for today, guys. Thank you ever so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please leave the video with a like and subscribe if you haven't for more content like this coming very soon. Make sure you hit that notification bell as well. You don't want to miss what's coming up in the near future. And let me know your thoughts on the game in the comment section below. Who have you got winning? Who are the standout performance? And like I said, who have you got winning? Let me know your thoughts. I'd love to hear from you. But like I said, that's it from me for today. Thank you ever so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week, and I hope to see you in the next one. But until then, my friends, take care of yourselves, and bye-bye.